They don't want these issues. Nope. They don't want these issues. No, they don't. They don't want these issues.
We live. Didn't even get a chance to grab my Snoop Dogg tape. We don't own the rights. Shout out to Snoop. Murder was the case. We gonna let y'all build up. Yeah. You know what it is. Wise King Leo X, a.k.a. Dick Whitman, a.k.a. Leonardo, no capping for no hoes, a.k.a. Deacon Dingaling. We in this bitch today. It's Sunday. The way I see things, WIZE ENT Studios in conjunction with BLE Studios. I got my boy from the West Coast in the building. Don't say that. Well, where he currently stay, but he's a KC native, but he took a show on the road. I'm gonna let him introduce himself. Go ahead, Cuzzo.
Well, it's the one and only, the tried and true, the steady mobbing. You know what it is.
Yeah.
Raphael Harton, a.k.a. Scuff, a.k.a. Algorithim Harton, a.k.a. the long-lost Kansas City Kid, back once again. Good to see you people.
Yeah. We in the building.
We in the building with old friends.
Yeah.
And new money.
Hey, right. Yeah. See, old friends. Yeah, I know this brother, man. See, we go back 93.
One of them
92, 93,
91 and something.
Yeah, the 90s.
Yeah.
We was
era.
coming up from a pup to a dog. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I'm glad you came, my brother, because it's a lot of stuff going on.
It's a lot of shit going on, I tell you that.
And we gonna talk about it. Shit, because I just want to jump right in to, I want to save that for later. But let's talk about this whole submarine shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and get it off.
Let me say this first.
Go ahead.
I chuckled. I chuckled, not for the reasons that people would assume. It's a sad, death of any kind is sad. The loss of life is sad. So don't take my laughter as disrespect. Rest in peace, rest in power to those people if they actually lost their life, because we don't know.
Right.
They say they did, but if they did, as black people, we shouldn't be clowning no death, because there's too much death in our community to clown anybody's.
And to be honest, I don't know if they even went down there.
We don't even know. For real.
They ain't show us the picture or the video of them getting on the little submarine. They had a lap up. All we heard was that's what they said. So for everybody to lose their minds or be so sensitive about what happened when you don't even know if it happened. Yeah. Did they show us video of them getting on the boat? Mm-hmm. I just heard once they was on the boat that this was happening.
Submarine. Yeah,
the submarine, vessel. What they call it, it's another name they got for it. Niggas is making... Can. Yeah, pretty much.
That's what it looked like. Even the submarine picture, we know with movies. I ain't never seen no motherfucking submarine that it wasn't that, Subway or Jimmy John's. Man. But, you know what I'm saying? In real life, but... Was that a real submarine, my nigga?
It was like 22 feet long.
Man, that shit looked like a big
vibrator. It wasn't big enough, It looked like a big old... it looked like something.
It looked like
it looked like it was too heavy to come back up.
Shit.
So I just want to, talk about the scrutiny of the guys that actually built it. It was scrutiny behind them because one of the guys was saying that it wasn't supposed to pass, safety because they were putting stuff on it, cutting corners, trying to build it just to build it. When one of the dudes said you couldn't put, they were told not to use carbon fiber. He said, we put a whole bunch of it on there, and it was like, well, damn. I'm not getting ready to, first of all, if I'm that curious about the Titanic, me personally, with all this technology we got, won't you send a little instrument down there to see that shit? like it put me in one of them little rooms with the VR on. It let me have an experience.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
They should have did plenty run throughs to make sure
Yeah,
everything
yeah,
was on
like
the up and up.
a simulated
safe.
room to where we could be in the room first and see like what kind of pressure, like it's certain ways to they can do like certain things to where all the shit you're gonna feel when you go that deep in the water,
Yep.
they put you in a simulated room and let you enact that shit that way first. Because that way, 14,000 miles down deep into the ocean, you know what the water pressure is, you know what happens, all types of shit, and you won't be surprised. Or you done went through the little practice trials and shit of trying to do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we ain't really jump into nothing yet. I got my boy Showtyme pulling up on the set. Making a entrance. What's up with it? Yeah. Making an entrance. Yeah. Now we got a panel. You know what I'm saying? We finna dig off into this shit. But go ahead and introduce yourself before we jump back in it.
Man, it's simple as always. Mr. Nelson, you can call me Show if you don't know.
That was pretty simple. But we talking about this whole submarine shit or whatever they call the vessel they went into the water. It's I think it just should have been some simulated type of things done first, because you force it on us for a whole week talking about it in the media, and we didn't have a clue what the fuck you was talking about at first, because we didn't know some people boarded this shit.
I did read an article, and I also watched a YouTube video that said that the company that did it, they've done it multiple times.
Yeah.
So when I heard that part of it, it was like, okay, so y'all done this multiple times, you've been successful with the same invention or the same machine, same submarine. What went wrong this time? And then all the different stuff coming out about the $30 controller, using to control it, and just different things like that. It's like we already know that the media is a tool for manipulation most times in anything. Yeah. So, like I said before, like if somebody died, rest in peace. But I got a lot of questions if I even want to think about it. Right. But to be honest.
And that's the thing.
Should we really even care?
That was my point from the start. Like you forcing us to have an opinion about it, or forcing us to have any feelings about some motherfuckers we don't know, who are first of all rich as fuck billionaires, and we already know what billionaires do. They go to these secret places to have these meetings, and it just so happened that 5 of them got on this little what we call it, banana boat. You know what I'm saying? And you want to go 14,000 feet down. Whales don't even swim in more than 5,000 feet of water.
I didn't know that.
I'm just going to tell you straight up, my opinion is I don't believe it at all.
Yeah.
I just think it's a distraction for something else. So what's going on for real?
What's really going on? Yeah. And I say that same thing because, like I said, they forced us to take time out this whole week, last week, and everybody talking about it every day. Everybody's having opinions about it. Motherfuckers getting mad if you insensitive to the people that's on it. But to be honest, me and bro just said earlier, like, I can't even say it was people on it, because I never saw nobody get on it.
You ain't heard nothing about it before.
Yeah. I mean, they ain't never showed a video of them, because when you look at like NASA, if somebody's getting on a rocket, they at least show you video of them inside of that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Whether they going up there or not, I know somebody got inside.
Inside of NASA.
Yeah.
Where they at.
Yeah, right. Inside the spaceship or wherever they at, moving around and doing dumb shit.
And if you know the history of what they doing, the Titanic, a lot of people probably do know. When the Titanic sunk, there were 3 of the richest people in the world were on that boat. And the boat, the business and the company that created the boat was J.P. Morgan.
Yeah.
J.P. Morgan at the time was more wealthier than the United States.
Yeah.
So put that in perspective. One person had more resources than the entire country of the United States at that time. Man. And there's theories that the boat was sank on purpose because 3 of the billionaires that was on the boat at the time were against the country shifting over to the Federal Reserve. If you know what the Federal Reserve is, if a lot of people don't understand, the Federal Reserve, we think, is a bank that funds the United States, but it's actually not. It's actually a privately owned bank by, billionaires and, people all over the world.
And, they had that meeting on Jekyll Island in the 1900s when, who was the president at the time? Was it Truman? Not Truman.
It was
Grover Cleveland. But before him, it was Roosevelt, Theodore, the Rough Riders. Okay. And they was like against all of that private banking, because they just knew it wasn't, nothing to benefit the people from.
Yeah, and I bring that up to mirror the fact that now you got a couple more billionaires in the exact same spot doing the exact same thing, and I'm sure in the next coming weeks there's going to be some conspiracy theories and different information about these billionaires that died.
Yeah.
So for us is I'm just going to speak for us as black people in the black community. Take it with a grain of salt.
Right.
What happened last night at the club is more important to me.
Yeah.
What happened last night? What happened in my child's school?
Yeah.
What happened at,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
we can't allow ourselves to get distracted by every damn
And
thing.
quit drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
I mean,
Man.
The media is. I mean, their executive orders were written to control the media by the government.
Yep.
The President of the United States signed executive orders for the government to run media. So what do you think it's supposed to show?
Was it Obama who did that?
I don't know who.
I believe it was
I've been
Obama.
intending on looking those up.
Yeah.
There's several executive orders. It was one for control of food services and farmers. It was one for transportation. There was one, and these are all executive orders that were signed. One for air control. I mean, it's ridiculous, man. So all of that's happening while we worried about this over here.
Man,
That's the distraction.
And the biggest thing is not so much as it being a distraction. It's still a way for them to conjure up people's feelings about a topic, And now it's almost like they're making you a villain. If you like, we started out this whole thing, we kind of chuckled, but we wasn't making fun of them. It's just funny how they're picking and choosing what we should have outrage on. It's selective outrage. So you can't tell me how to feel about anything. You know what I'm saying? I'm human. Like, I can feel how the fuck I want. You know what I'm saying? If I don't want to, like, empathize with them or have any sympathy for what they're going through, that's my prerogative. I shouldn't be villainized for that. And I mean, to make it all so simple, it comes down to, what is really going on and what really happened while we had this whole distraction for a whole fucking week, about nothing. We didn't even know if the dudes is actually on that goddamn, on the boat, because they said, and here's how everything they said was bullshit. The first day they had supposed to had died. The first day they was down there, but in the middle of the week last week, they talking about they heard sounds. Like, come on, man. Like, oh, what sounds did you hear? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. What are we really? We're taking the time to invest into feeling a certain kind of way about some rich people who spent $250,000 to get on a banana boat. You know what I'm saying? A bullshit ass what they call it, submersive type of thing to where they said the shit imploded. So it's
to be honest,
hey, shout out to Red Pill Crip.
To be honest, I didn't really follow it too much. Like, I kind of seen it in passing, day-to-day life, you moving, you're doing whatever. And like I said, I started just reading up on it because, of course, they put it in your face a million times a day.
Right.
The curious mind, the thoughtful mind, you're gonna be like, well, let me see what this shit is about. Let me see what it's about.
Right.
And like bro said, like the brother Showtyme said, I think it's more so. It's definitely a distraction, but I think it's more so of a media manipulation, like social media really is as a whole. They're trying to find an algorithm. They're trying to think what type of things can we put into society or to pop culture that are going to trigger emotional reactions.
Yeah.
It's an algorithm test.
You know what it feels like? Go ahead.
Listen, but what I feel like they realized is that, keep it real, a lot of black folks is not aligning with anything, with everything that white culture or white media put in our face no more. Because they don't like the backlash that came out. They want the niggas to be like, oh, we so sorry. You know how niggas always is, oh, we gonna pray, we gonna send money, we gonna forgive. Niggas is like, man, fuck this. Fuck that submarine. We don't give a damn what y'all talking about. Get that shit out of here. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's telling for where we are as black society.
Yeah.
Because there was a time, of course, where there was a time all the way back when black folks would never say nothing negative about anything white, anybody white in a public forum at nowhere.
Yeah.
Nigga, you had to get across the street.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you see, Emmett Till, like these things is real.
Yeah.
But now, like I said, I find it gratifying personally that niggas don't give a fuck. I'm happy.
Right.
I'm like, wow, they finally did some shit that niggas don't give a fuck about.
Right.
Because they don't definitely give a fuck about us.
Right.
And I ain't trying to.
Too much else to be concerned about.
I ain't trying to kill the flow too, but last week in Los Angeles, California, I want to say rest in peace to one of my young football players.
Oh, I saw that.
Quincy Reese. He was murdered leaving a house party off of Western. And condolences to his family. He was a beautiful young man. He was a great athlete, and just condolences to his family. Condolences to the whole Crenshaw family community. And it's a sad event, but is the submarine more important than that? No, it's not.
No, it's
and it's just telling, not like I said, not to divert everything, but it's just telling that the story surrounding the young man, the young brother, and he had a father and everything. The story surrounding him has drawn a lot of media attention to LA because there's a story around him. He's Crenshaw. He's a good student. He's a great athlete. But, our children are in these situations in Kansas City and LA and every other city in the country. They die every day, and it's not a media blitz on it. You know what I'm saying? But it deserves to be.
Yeah.
Like Quincy's story deserves to be told like every other story deserves to be told. So fuck the submarine.
Right. I second that motion.
I apologize, but fuck the submarine.
Hey, and just last night here in KC, 9 people got shot at the after hours.
Damn.
So I think 2 died.
Last
this is
night?
on 57th the
I
Prospect. Yeah, right. So here we are, supposed to be the month of June, supposed to be celebrating Juneteenth and everything else, but there goes that one elephant in the room, somebody in their feelings, somebody get mad, and here goes a gun, shooting up the party.
That's a whole nother can of worms, though.
Yeah. So it's almost like we just live in a double life out here, because at any given time somebody can be hurt or whatever, and now they gonna go get the gun and kill everybody, or shoot up the whole party, or shoot up the whole block, or just shoot up the whole neighborhood. And then it's niggas who know who's doing it but will never say nothing. And I like to just say, if you in the shit and you out there, then it's a code that you agreed to because you in shit. But if you a regular civilian, it ain't no code that you signed up for that you can't tell who just shot up this street or that block or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's your duty as a taxpaying citizen to get the riffraff off the street.
Because you want to be knowing who it is if it was your people.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So all we do, we put a nigga on a shirt. We mourn for 2 weeks until the funeral's over. After that, who's next? So we gotta start loving each other better. And the Black Lives Matter need to really matter, because if it did, we wouldn't be killing each other. You know what I'm saying? And we can go on a whole nother path with talking about that shit. But what I want to do before we go there, I want to go ahead and say, hit that Cash App. It's $ WIZE ENT.
Ching, ching.
Go ahead and pay your tithes today if you didn't go to church. Even if you did, go ahead and put something in the bucket.
You got some extra. Your kids wearing Jordans.
Put something in the bucket.
You got all them Netflix. You got Netflix. Hulu.
Yeah.
You got Pandora.
Deacon Dingling couldn't show up.
You probably still got Black Planet. You paying for all that shit.
Put something in the bucket. Pass the tray around.
In the bucket.
That side. I want to talk about this. This shit's so funny to me. Zion Williamson, man, and these NBA players, how they getting caught up with these old strippers or these old Instagram models, women that's in their 30s and 40s is chasing these young brothers,
Preying on them.
preying on
Say
them.
it like it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
said.
they preying on them. They
Predators.
preying on them. Predatory type of shit. These brothers is coming out of college and getting these $1 million contracts, and they 21 to 23 years old. But these older women are preying on these brothers, and ain't nobody saying nothing. Like it's fucked up. But ain't nobody saying nothing because it's women preying on men.
Yeah, but the term cougar, what is a cougar?
Right. Exactly.
Shit.
So it's going left.
Hell of a nickname.
Yeah, it's going left because at least in our day, the cougar thing was a receptive thing. You know, it wasn't nothing to do with money or nothing like that. It was just an old woman who, you know, a young boy wanted because she reminded him of something. So you gonna see if you can, it's a quest, a conquest.
To my understanding, the cougar has always been representative of a woman of age, a woman of maturity, who just had a desire to be with a younger man for whatever shape, form, or fashion.
Right.
You know, those are the type of men she pursuing. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Which is predatory, but what do we call, OG niggas like us that pursue young women? What do we call? Ain't no name for them.
Lions.
Lions. Is that what it is? It's lions. There you go.
What we supposed to do, and it's for sport, like it's supposed
right.
to.
So it's on both sides there, right?
But if you know what a cougar is, you understand a cougar. The female is one of the only cats, only felines that hunt
Yeah.
for the sake of killing.
Yeah.
For the sake of just killing, not
lionesses
sustainability.
hunt for food. And
not
sustainability,
sustainability.
right?
Yeah. Cougars,
Yeah, so for conquest.
For conquest.
There you go.
So kind of what I was saying, we lead in the we gonna slash, we gonna go down and fuck them all, but the Cougars, these
gonna walk down
and fuck them all. So the Cougar mentality, or these women that's whose careers just didn't bubble like they wanted. They were strippers or porn stars or whatever the case is in that type of atmosphere, to where these young bulls is coming up and they know Mariah Mills. They know who she is. They know who Cherokee is. Yeah. They know who, what's them other brides that, they know who these women are. And it's okay if your intent is you always wanted to do this, you always wanted to, be in a room with them or whatever pop off. But now it's getting to a point where these young dudes who have no concept of money, but they just throwing them 40, 50, $100 million. Now they taking care of these girls. And the women is still disrespectful.
Is that really new though?
Yeah,
it's not.
Is that really new?
It's not new.
So the only narrative that has changed out of that is what it is you're using, the tool you're using to extort that money.
Yeah.
It used to be get pregnant and become a baby mama, but these are older women who ain't bearing no kids no more, probably ain't trying to have no babies no more. So now it's all about the game and praying them that way.
Yeah. Let's think about it. You hate the player, you hate the game. It's a game being played on both sides. So do we hold these women accountable who are pursuing these young men and trying to get financial gain, or even some of these people are mentally, emotionally, maybe might be a little delusional. They might even be seeking love. Yeah. But do we put the accountability more on them, or more as us as men to train up our young men in a way that they don't get caught up in that type of stuff? Where does the accountability lie?
It's on both sides, only because we can't give them an out. Because
no, ain't no outs.
Yeah,
wrong
ain't
is
no
wrong.
outs.
Ain't no
yeah,
outs.
wrong is wrong. But it's on both sides. Us as men have to be better at teaching other, even if it ain't our kids, but just teaching other young men, have your fun, but know who you fucking with. You know what I'm saying? If you fucking with a 40-year-old ex-porn star, you not her come up. She had her chance to probably meet whatever dude she was going to meet. Just have your fun if that's what it's about. But don't be giving her no $100,000 a month, you know what I'm saying, to live somewhere.
I mean, I'm not gonna say that it's certainly that's absolutely right about sprinkling, the youth, the young men, to give them insight on some things. But you can't teach all the time what's not teachable.
Right.
Some of those things are experiences that they just gonna have to find out the hard way.
Nah,
You know
nigga,
what I'm
Hove
saying?
did that, so hopefully you ain't gotta go through that.
No, I definitely hear that.
But I feel what you're
that.
saying.
What is the game without a player?
Yeah, because you
know
can't
what I'm
be
saying?
around these niggas 24/7. You can only tell them what you would do in those scenarios.
You can think you covered all the bases,
Yeah,
Father.
yeah.
And then it'd be a situation over here that you can't have no influence on whatsoever,
Right.
because affairs of the heart cannot be taught.
Right, like
Yes.
Larsa Pippen and Michael Jordan's son.
Right.
You know, you dealing with a woman who is scorned and she finna fuck up your shit. You just saw what she did with Pippen. She got half of this nigga's retirement from the NBA.
Yeah.
Nigga, she wasn't with him shooting in the gym. You know what I'm saying? And that's really like for real. Like how you get half of his pension, but then how you still able to? It's almost like this. If it was men, oh shit, Dave. If it was men that were older men and we was considered what's up, Biggie Love? We was considered this like the rumor that they can create for you would stand for you. You know, to the point where don't fuck with him. He da 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 da. Woo woo woo. But whereas with these women, it's no stigma attached to what they're doing. So you can't. So these other cats ain't pulling these other niggas' coats and telling them, "Oh, nigga, don't fuck with her. She da 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 da."
And that's what I'm saying. As far as accountability, I mean, I hear y'all point. Like I said, life comes at you from different angles. Everybody gonna have their own perspectives, and your perspective is gonna be based off your experience. But let's think about this. Zion Williamson was 18, 19 years old when he
19,
came?
yeah.
If I got a son, which I have sons, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if that's my son just graduated from college. Shout out to him too.
Shout out, young man.
I'm in the presence and the proximity of a young man that I support, I love, I care about, I'm going to give him more information. Like you said, when I give you the information, it's up to you to use it and to execute. But when you look at the shit that Zion going through, and I pay more attention to Zion than the submarine. Just fuck it.
Me
You know what I'm saying? So when you
Yeah.
look at what he's going through, it's clearly that he got himself involved in a fantasy situation to me as a man. He thought he was living a fantasy, but we would have hoped there was a man or even a woman or anybody around to say, this is not a fantasy. This could become a problem.
It could become a problem.
Like we talked before, I'm sure it's things in her character that showed up red flags before you got to the point that should have told you when this woman is not pacified or catered to, she's going to trip out. And as a man, as a young man, we don't always be able to pick up on that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But
so like you said, so you're going to trial and error. But we gotta like even look at, you can even mirror with John Morant. Clearly there's somewhere in both of these young men's lives where they probably were given the right information, but they didn't make that decision. You know what I'm saying? So that's when we shift to this is a grown woman. You know what I'm saying? This is a third. I don't know how old. Do y'all know how old?
She like 30. She almost 40.
I mean, that's
twice
still,
his age.
Yeah, but it's clear that her agenda was not just I love and care about this young black man.
Yeah, and that's
what
I'm
it
saying.
is. It's
like
a young black man.
I ain't telling these young niggas not to smash, because that's what you doing in your 20s.
But
you conquest.
Should we start shifting the narrative? Telling niggas, hey, like we said,
Yeah.
like men, like this, the last hurdle of manhood is understanding the value of your sexual power.
Yeah.
That's the last hurdle of manhood.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we came up in the era of player this, player that, bitches ain't shit, Snoop Doggy Dogg. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Is it time for us to start shifting the narratives to like from the start? We teaching our young men, which I kind of taught my sons that. You know what I'm saying? But you know, you don't necessarily have all the knowledge at some point to teach, but your sexual value as a man is powerful.
Yeah.
We got to start understanding that.
Yeah.
We
And
gotta
that's
understand
absolutely
that.
true, man. But you gotta, we have got to, like, just understand the fact that these niggas is different. This generation of kids ain't the same.
Yeah.
They're not influenced by conversation from us. They're not easily, I mean, you as a father, we can sit down all day long and pour into them and tell them the things that they need to need. No, give them
Right.
the tools that they need, and they walk out that door and society grabs them just
up.
like that.
We
Because
get it.
society had them while they was listening
Right.
to us in the first place.
Well,
So
that's the-
it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
You know, now you got to factor in the fact that this man is gone to college. So he's not up under the roof no more.
Right.
He's not accessible and tangible for you to be able to pour into him like you was doing when he was at home.
Right.
He got distractions going on. He got to keep his head in the game. He's listening to these people over here who is PR people who probably ain't concerned about
Really,
nothing but
yeah,
the bag.
yeah.
They ain't concerned about nothing
They
morally.
only there for the bag.
Yeah,
They wouldn't
and-
be there if it
and-
wasn't no
and so,
money involved.
So on the days off, now he's around his peers. They getting ready to act up and do what they gonna do and get out in that world and do whatever comes their way.
Right.
Man, boy, listen,
Yeah.
that's hard, bro.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
It's,
And
to me, I'm
yeah.
not gonna say it's a losing battle, but it's downhill like a mother.
It's down. It's down here for real. And the biggest thing that I took away from the whole situation is that teaching somebody a certain type of etiquette to have with the opposite sex, it should never have to be that you're pacifying that person so they can sustain. Like it's coming down to like the Mariah Mills chick was saying, well, you know, she blasted him because he got another girl pregnant. Like, oh, you just had your shit in my mouth the other day. Now you about to have a baby. You didn't tell me this and didn't tell me that. And then I'm going to need another payment this month. And you better hope I ain't pregnant too. Like that kind of volatility is coming from her. So
Yeah,
she's
definitely.
been jaded.
Definitely.
You know, because niggas heard about her in the industry with other rappers and shit that, you know, they
I ain't
running
know
through
about
her. Oh, yeah, Atlanta's a motherfucker. So he should have been a little bit more coached, or somebody should have pulled this nigga's coat. Like, hey, bro, like, have your fun, but understand what's fun and what's not. Because when the minute you start subsidizing somebody's lifestyle, you the benefactor. You giving them money to sustain. They can always go to court and use that against you. You know what I'm saying? He bought me an apartment. You know, he giving me $100,000 a month to survive on. Now you basically being her, you know, everything. And all they got to do is go to court and prove it in court that you is sustaining her lifestyle and you can afford it. Oh, man. They have a field day with this nigga, man.
The thing about it too, you gotta look at it from the perspective from her position. She probably not like she's more than likely she's probably not even upset like that. But this is my name is in the media. I'm attached to a multimillionaire young man. This is my chance to put myself out there more and get a interview or get on this
messy as
podcast.
fuck, yeah.
This is because everything's about celebrityism.
Yeah.
You know, you got to look at probably her line of work. You say she's, you know, we know she's a porn star.
Yeah.
So the more attention she could bring to herself, she probably gonna end up jumping back into porn if she
Yeah.
ain't already back in it. Because
Exactly.
now it's you the chick that was with
Yeah.
Zion. Now you
Yeah.
can market yourself and brand yourself as even
brand
more.
yourself.
So she gonna run down. She gonna, you know, she like you said, she in her 40s.
Yeah.
Man, she's seeing the end. She's seeing the tunnel getting smaller,
smaller and
smaller at the
smaller.
end. Man, she finna run
And
that
that
shit
pussy
up.
hole getting
She
looser and
finna
looser.
run that. She finna run that shit up.
He made her famous.
Yeah,
She
and
finna
shout out
run
to
it
my
up.
boy Maverick.
Oh,
These niggas got,
my
they
nigga.
get, what they say?
These niggas get no excuses.
No excuses.
Amen.
Yeah, they get no
Mav.
excuses.
That's absolutely right.
And,
I'm like, who said it? Whatever you got, you deserve it. bitch.
Yeah, and the money does go to their head because the new generation now, they think that money gives you knowledge. Like, nigga, because I got more money than you, I'm smarter than you. That's not the case. You got that bag based off of your talent on the basketball court. Don't necessarily mean you were smart, clever, or wise. Nigga, you just so happen to know how to dunk a ball and got a good position, and now you got a good size, weight, whatever. You went to this college, so the NBA will pick you up. But understand this. If they can snatch a nigga's whole year from him, Ja Morant, $40 million, he losing. They can do anything because they control the bag. You have the contract, but you got to meet and exceed those requirements.
Yeah, you
Because if
gotta-
it's a 5-year, $200
You
million,
got to return the value.
yeah, you got to be there them 5 years, doing everything that you should be doing to get all of that money.
Oh yeah.
But if
But
you not,
it's a hey, listen. You use your talent and you exploit yourself so that you can get noticed and get in position for them to exploit you to make more money.
say that shit again, bro.
You exploit your own talent. You put yourself out there so that you can get noticed, so you can get picked, so that you can go there so that they can exploit you to get more money.
And the money they finna make off you, they can afford to pay you $200 million. Cause nigga, they finna get $1 billion just off of you. So the shit is crazy. It's pimping at its finest. Cause that's what don't nobody want to call it. It's pimping,
exactly
pimping and pandering to be exact.
Yeah.
But when these guys, they're 22, 21, 23, they coming out of college. They barely went to college because you only need a year now, and then you can get straight to the league. So you barely have a college education, but you rush into the bag, which it's okay to do it if you in a dire need. And I understand a lot of cats, they, come from nothing. They mama didn't have nothing, so when they get rich, that's a way to get their mom and their family out them situations they was in. Yeah. However, don't let it go to your head, and don't never for once think that this shit can stop. You know what I'm saying? You out here messing around, and like bro said earlier, we have to understand our value. You know what I'm saying? Who used to say that? It was Kevin Samuels used to say that, like, what's your value? Like, it ain't about how many bodies you got. You know what I'm saying? How many chicks you done slayed. It's more important about, what kind of mentality you got, what you doing for your future. Because right now, today, the shit you going through today, nigga, that's temporary. Your future is what's more important. And if you out here planting seeds in unfertile soil and just knocking up every little chick that come along.
I used to tell my oldest son when we'd have the discussions about, abstinence or remaining a virgin or whatever. I was like, man, it takes a real man to be able to have self-control.
Yeah.
To keep himself.
Yeah.
Because God made women to be beautiful and attractive to our eye. Yeah. So that temptation is there even without knowing, even if you're not made aware. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't ate the apple, you ain't ate the fruit, and your eyes been open to it. When you see one, there it is. And once you get a taste of the fruit, come on. Yeah. Come on, man.
You get even hungry.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Hunger goes
Your
up.
appetite is for destruction.
Yeah.
And
so if we could practice as men, as black kings, man, self-control.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the power.
Yep.
The power ain't in the P.
It's in discipline.
Right.
The power ain't in the P, you.
Right.
The power's in the P, E.
Yeah. Public enema. Hey.
Whoa.
Hey, you already know the seed has to come from you. The eggs are already there. They got eggs. They got plenty of them. They lose half of them every month. Man. But the fact is if the seed, the power's in the seed. Yeah. So if you know that this chick that you fucking with is not the right equality as you, and let's be honest, everybody's not on the same level.
That's the whole thing about teaching our young men their value. A lot of men don't understand their quality. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Me as a young man, I started out kind of slow when it comes to females and having sex and all of that. So when I got to the point where I was moving around and living life as a young man, doing this thing, sexually I went wild. I'm just keep it real. Like most young men, you get to a point where I realized my value as a man on a sexual marketplace, I guess. Women coming at me, I took advantage of it to a little to my detriment, but also to my experience at the same time. Yeah. So, like I said, we got to teach our young men their value so that they don't get caught up in these issues no more. Yeah. And it's not necessarily about somebody mentoring them or nothing. Yeah. But it's like podcasts like this, conversations, with young men you don't know or that you're just around, just presenting yourself like we talked about. Every time you walk into a space as a black man, I don't care where it is. The minute you open your mouth, someone is evaluating you.
Yep.
And we got to take that responsibility to know our power.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And-
we got to understand our power. When we open our mouth, we can make shit change.
And the fact that the value is intrinsic. It's not extrinsic. It's not so much as
My nigga Rick.
yeah, I see him. It's not so much as your physical capabilities or how good you look to the opposite sex.
I ain't trying to cut you off. Think about this.
Yeah.
You can control a woman with sex, can't you?
Yeah.
Say you can't.
I can.
You can, right? You can, right? As a man, you got, like, you know what I'm saying? It takes a real man to understand, I know what I'm doing to this woman. Let me do it in this way instead of in that way no more.
Right.
So it's like the power is so strong. Like,
Man.
you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, the
You know what I'm
power the
saying?
power is in that, and to know who you dealing with when you start dealing with women, you got to figure out what her intrinsic value is. Because if you just looking at her ass and titties, yeah, that's the outside.
That's the
like
package.
yeah, but what about her brain? What about her personality? What about her psychology of who she is? You know, can you coexist with her? Can you deal with her? And if you find out you can't, then abort the mission, because I'm not saying abortion, but
Nah,
aborting
man.
the mission
Abort
meaning
the submarine.
yeah, leaving
Get out the
leaving her
submarine.
alone, because if you continue down that mission, then this is gonna be your life.
Add this to it, though, and keep going. Add this to it, though.
Yeah.
Whose responsibility is it to teach that young man the mentality of a woman?
His mama.
There we go.
But
we
she's
go.
not gonna teach him that because her
How is her mind?
mind is fucked up with fantasy shit. Because this is real talk right here.
Yeah.
And I know he got something on this, but I don't want to put nobody in this because I won't implicate nobody. But I will say, I will say that I went to a elder woman in the community, and the way that she was talking to me about women was women like this, and this. And the whole time she's telling me what women like, her man that she had treated her like shit. So as a young man, I'm trying to figure out, well, if this is what women like, I keep bumping my head because I'm going to these women and I'm going to them with what this lady just told me. You know what I'm saying? And she's telling me that this is what women like. Women attract this. And I'm being a gentleman. I'm being nice. I'm being this. I'm being that. But I'm striking out. So the minute I changed it up and I start emulating the nigga that she's with, I started getting all kind of women. You know what I'm saying? This is me in my early 20s, kind of like what you said. I left Kansas City at 19, so I was able to be out in the world at a young age. So when you out in the world at a young age, you trying ways, you trying this, and you coming up because, you know, I'm handsome. I was getting mine, but it was the fact of what we just said. Once you get that fruit, you want more. So how do you get more fruit? How do you attract more fruit? This woman lied to me. She told me to be a gentleman. That's the fantasy of what they want. But what they have is an asshole. Yeah. You know what I'm
They're
saying?
not gonna be honest about it.
Right.
That's why I think that, and my grandfather was the one who schooled me on this. He said, first of all, he used to say, grandson, understanding is the best thing in the world.
Right.
You can hear people talk about truth, communication, this, that, loyalty, respect, this, that, and the other. But I'm telling you, understanding is the foundation of all of them. If you don't have understanding, then none of them are going to do nothing for you. When you choose who it is that you think you want to be with, he said, number one, don't find nobody like your mama. He said, because that type of love is different.
Yeah.
And that type of love comes with expectations that cannot be fulfilled by anybody other than your mother.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be disappointed every time. I didn't
Yep.
listen to that. What I do? Then
Bumps his head.
he said, number two, if you want to know anything about a woman, don't ask one.
Right.
He said, let a man tell you who's dealt with a woman, because they're getting the truth.
Yeah.
Woman's not gonna tell you, like you said.
Yeah.
She's not gonna tell you, son, you need to do this, and this. to benefit you. She's gonna tell you that because that's what she was seeking,
Right.
and knows that that's what women want. So you're not gonna get the truth,
Right.
man. Listen.
And like you said, what I told a young lady this one time, and when we was talking, she was like, I'm looking for unconditional love, and I said, well, you probably should call your father. Because
that's the
the
only
only place in the world
That's
you're
the
ever
only
gonna
place.
get love
Right.
unconditional
Yeah.
is from your mother and father.
Yeah.
Love is conditional. Past that,
definitely.
You cannot like I can't be with a woman and physically abuse her and expect her to stay with me. That's a condition. That's a condition, right?
Right. That's
I
definitely
have
a
to meet
condition.
the standards of a man to have this woman, and the woman got to do the same thing.
And she's not finna stay with you if
love,
you can't
love is
keep
conditional.
the lights on.
If love is not conditional, then someone's being used.
Yeah.
Someone's being exploited.
Yeah.
As an adult,
I don't think it's love.
it's not love.
Or you
Yeah,
being
it's
naive.
not love. Yeah,
I'm being
that's
naive to the
you
fact
know,
that what love is.
If you don't have standards for your love, then basically it ain't love. We didn't set it.
Right.
The way we see things, the niggas ain't got to follow, but we're gonna tell you right now.
Right.
Like the Beatles, I'm a young Ringo, and sort of an analyst, call me Trey Wingo. Like the Beatles, I'm a young Ringo, and sort of an analyst, call me Trey Wingo. Man, this here go hard, and it's not a jingo. See, the girls love my lingo, they grannies hollering